Hello friends, today's movie starts with a narrator telling a fairy tale about a newborn baby called Ella. When Ella's mother and fairy household Mandy knows that fairy godmother Lucinda arrives. They try to hide Ella, but they failed. Lucinda gives the baby Ella a gift of obedience. As a result, Ella obeys any order given to her by anyone, so it's indeed a curse, not a gift. Ella, despite of her curse, she grown-ups with strong personality and she has a best friend called Arida. Ella used to save her from mean girls in the school. Ella's mother told her that she hides her obedience curse from anyone, even her father. Then she asked her not to let this spell take advantage of her, telling that she has a mind power and she can do things only according to her will. Ella's mother gives her a necklace, then she died. Ella's father needs money, so he gets married to a rich lady, Dame Olga, who comes with her daughters, Hattie and Olive, to live in Ella's father's house. Hattie checked the room and finds it too small, so she decides to take Ella's room. Then she likes Ella's necklace, she demands it and Ella immediately gives it to her. Hattie learns about Ella's curse to obey every command. Meanwhile, Prince Char and his uncle, who grew him up, arrive in their town. Char is a handsome young man who catches the eye of all the women. Hattie and Olive are crushing on him. The girls, including Hattie and Olive, are cheering for him, but Ella and her friend are chanting against him. Ella is distrustful of Char due to her negative perception of his uncle's rule, thinking that he will be the same as his uncle. Hattie ordered Ella to return home. The girls runs after Char, who has escaped from them. He finds Ella and hides from the girls. They talk together and he was wondering from Ella's behavior with him, as he used to be admired from girls. During fear talk, he told her to stay till he come back and she considered it as an order. She was stepping on a rapid carriageway who was about to hit her. He comes to save her in time. As they converse, their conversation is interrupted by Hattie, who orders Ella to leave. Hattie wants to become closer to Char, but he quickly departs, leaving her disappointed. Later, Ella and her friend Arida are in the marketplace. Ella finds Hattie and Olive there and she tries to hide, but her attempt has failed. Hattie ordered Ella to steal things, including a glass shoes from a nearby display. The guards see her and run before her. She tries to escape, but a guard catches her. Upon returning home, Dame Olga scolds Ella, and Hattie ordered her to blame Arida for the theft. As a result, Dame Olga bans Ella from seeing her friend Arida ever again, who was at this moment coming to see her, but Ella asked her to leave. Later, Ella decides to seek out Lucinda to remove the curse. Mandy gives her a book containing her boyfriend Benny, who was transformed into a book by accident. Benny can display pictures of anyone in the area and provides helpful maps. Something like a magic crystal who acts as a cam without providing location. Ella discovers that Lucinda is in Giantville and decides to go to find her. Along the way, she encounters Slannon, an elf, being mistreated by two people. Ella saves him. Slannon invites Ella to dinner in an elf restaurant. Meanwhile, Dame Olga, Hattie, and Olive receive an invitation to the prince's coronation ball. Slannon joins Ella to look for Lucinda. In the forest, they encounter some ogres. The ogres told Ella not to move. Then they tied her up and hung her over a boiling pot. Slannon is tied to another tree. Just as they were lowering Ella to the pot, Prince Char arrives. He saves Ella and defeats the ogres. He thinks that the ogres killed his father, but the orcs told him that they didn't, saying that his father was a kind man, so he lets them go. Ella talks to Char about how bad the giants are treated. He goes to Giantville with Ella. Ella, Char, Slannon, and Benny go to a giant's bar. Ella asks about Lucinda, but she was told that Lucinda has already left the place. Char talks to a giant and tells him that once he becomes king, the giants won't be slaves. Char asks Ella to stay there that night and resume the search for Lucinda tomorrow. The giant asked Ella to sing and she immediately accepts the order. They have singing and dancing night. Char tells her that he may be able to help her find Lucinda using the books at the library at his castle. So the next day they go to the castle. Inside the castle, Hattie is leading a group of women on a tour when she comes across Ella and Char. The couple quickly make their escape, stumbling upon Char's Uncle Edgar and his pet snake. After introducing Ella to Edgar, he noticed something strange about Ella. Of course, it is the obedience curse. Ella goes to the library with Benny, while Char stays behind to discuss with his uncle the enslavement of giants and the limitations imposed on the elves. Edgar promises to discuss this after the coronation ceremony. Char then told his uncle that he will propose marriage to Ella at the ball, in the very same location and at the same time as his father proposed to his mother. Ella discovers Lucinda's place in Benny's book. Hattie and Olive meet Char's uncle. He asks them about Ella promising Hattie in return that she will marry Char when he becomes a king, as he will need a wife to be his queen. So she told him about Ella's secret curse. Edgar goes to Ella in the library. He starts to give Ella some funny orders testing her obedience curse. Then he instructs her to accompany Char to the Hall of Mirrors, where he will offer her to marry him at the midnight. Edgar ordered Ella to kill Char with a dagger he provides. It was his wicked plan to claim the throne. Ella was shocked by Edgar's willingness to kill his nephew, but he confesses that he murdered his own brother, Char's father. Edgar orders Ella to keep silent and don't tell anybody about his plans. Ella is searching for Lucinda. She was told by a fairy that Lucinda is retired. Then she writes a letter to Char, expressing their inability to be together. She then instructs Slannon to chain her to a tree in a meadow away from the castle. She was trying to prevent herself from killing Char. She asks Slannon to go to the castle to find Benny and keep Edgar away from Char. Later, before midnight, Lucinda appears in the meadow, and Ella implores her to take back the gift, but Lucinda refuses, insisting that Ella must find a way to get rid of it herself. Lucinda then, considering she'd do a favor for Ella, she unchains her from the tree and prepares her for the ball with a magical white gown. At the ball, Ella confesses her love to Char, who takes her to the Hall of Mirrors to offer her the marriage proposal. Ella tries to explain her situation, but Char doesn't understand. Meanwhile, Edgar watches everything unfold. As the clock strikes 12, Ella sobs and raises a dagger over Char, but resists the urge to harm him. She remembers her mother's advice that what's inside her is stronger than any spell. Ella shouts, "You will no longer be obedient," and drops the dagger, breaking the spell. However, Char finds her, in the reflections of the mirrors, that she is holding the dagger in her hands, misunderstands, and thinks that Ella tried to kill him. Edgar enters and orders the guards to take Ella to the dungeon. Char is struggling to believe that Ella would try to harm him. Edgar and his pet snake then plant a seed of doubt in Char's mind, claiming that the incident with the ogres in the forest was a part of a plan set by Ella and the ogres to get close to Char and kill him. Edgar advises Char to focus on his coronation ceremony and leave Ella to him. Later, Edgar confides in his snake that he has a plan to prevent Char from becoming a king. The next day, Slannon arrives at the castle with some friends, including 2 giants and elves. They rescue Benny from a trash can and discover that Ella is being held in the dungeon. The ogres from the forest also join the rescue mission. Disguised as an executioner, Slannon drives a carriage and sneaks them into the castle. As the coronation ceremony begins, Slannon tricks the guards into opening the dungeon doors by posing as Ella's lawyer. The ogres then overpower the guards, and Ella is freed. She asks Benny to show her where Edgar is, and they watch him replacing the original crown by a poison one. Ella, Slannon, and the others quickly rush to the hall. As the poison crown is about to be placed on Char's head, they burst into the hall and a massive fight ensues. Char jumps in to protect Ella. Then Mandy successfully transforms Benny back into a human. While Char and Ella fight off the guards, Ella starts to explain everything to Char. She confesses her love for him. And she faced Edgar with his cruel plans to kill Char and make himself the king. At first, he rejected Ella's accusations, but Edgar's talking snake almost fatally bites Char, providing him with further proof of his uncle's wrongdoing. Edgar becomes angry and starts shouting. He tries to claim the throne. He places the crown on his head, forgetting that the crown is poisoned. Char and Ella are soon married, with Araida serving as Ella's maid of honor. Char gives a speech, toasting to a new era of equality for all citizens of the kingdom. Ella throws the bouquet of roses, and her best friend Araida catches it. Char and Ella depart on their honeymoon. The narrator tells us that it is time to return back to the real life and announces the end of the story.